Listen to this. In 1900, Thanksgiving dinner menu for the New York Park Avenue Hotel offered the following to their patrons. They had the choice of oysters, creamed fresh mushrooms on toast, boiled Kennebec salmon, saddle of lamb with kidney beans, potted quail, diamondback terrapin, Rhode Island turkey, ribs of prime beef, and much more, including a sizable array of vegetables, potato dishes, desserts, candies, cheese, nuts, rum, and coffee.
Can I have all of that?
Oh, dude.
That's delicious.
That is just so amazing.
Real food.
Talk about a bounty.
Yeah.
Especially that last part. The desserts, the candies, the cheese, the nuts, the rum, the coffee. I want the rum and the coffee so much.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say that you were at the New York Park Avenue Hotel in 1900. You had that rolled out. What would you go for? Obviously, you'd probably go for the ribs of prime beef.
Yep, and the lamb, I think, was in there?
Saddle of lamb with kidney beans. You would say hold the beans?
It depends. Are they soaked and sprouted?
I don't know. I don't see.
And then salmon was in there too. So those are great. Like, I tell people all the time when they question holidays, like, how do I navigate this? Just prioritize protein. That's like a simple way to go about it, because the more you do of that, the less you have for other things. You can still try all the other things, which is beautiful, but protein will fill you up. So I always start there. So yeah, a little fish, a little beef,
okay,
and a little lamb.
What about oysters?
Oh yeah, high in zinc. Yeah.
Now, how do you approach oysters? Because I love them, and then then somebody told me that the rule is, and I never knew this, and thank God I got through okay, that you only eat oysters in months of the year that end in ER.
I have to look into that more. I don't really know a lot about it, to be honest.
Okay.
I got to imagine it's just whether they're fresh or not. I got to assume that's sort of part of the when they're going to be caught, but I'm not really sure. But I remember that episode where you were talking about that, and I meant to look into it. I don't eat oysters very often. I think I've only had them 2 or 3 times in my life, but they're good, and they're super high in zinc, very bioavailable zinc.
Okay, so then there's also the oyster, cream fresh mushrooms. You probably say no.
Yeah, why not?
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Boiled. Oh, you already said the salmon.
I mean, we're talking about this time where there were. Did this say a year?
It's 1900.
Okay, yeah. So there's no such thing as seed oil. There's Crisco hasn't been invented yet. There's so all of these fats in the cream are going to be real, actual animal fat. So yeah, bring it on.
Oh, let me ask you this before
and they're unpasteurized too. So you're talking all this stuff is raw. The milk, the cream, all this stuff is raw. See, this is what I mean. This is 1900. That's not that long ago. Right? So, I mean, the world has changed in terms of nutrition dramatically in the last 120 years.
Let me ask you about deep frying then, before we get back to this. I have, it's once a year that I have turkey, and it's on Thanksgiving, and the last 2, and tomorrow will be no different. I have peanut oil for my deep fryer. I understand. I know. But my question for you is, I know that when you talk about frying and things like that, you say, well, go the tallow way. Can beef tallow be put into a deep fryer?
That I wouldn't want to venture a guess, but I would just say then find something, like I've deep fried in coconut oil before. You just got to find a saturated fat, because deep frying is high temperature, and so the whole point about fats is that the more saturated they are, the more protected they are from oxidation. In fact, it's almost impossible to oxidize a saturated fat. So that's the only reason, because there are really toxic byproducts that are created from unsaturated fatty acids. So that's the main reason. So find a saturated fat like that you like the taste of. So coconut oil or beef tallow or something like that. That's why I would do it.
I'm going to look into that for next year.
Yeah. I bet you can.
I have to.
I'm sure you can.
I got to check it out. I'm going to check it out.
Yeah.
All right. So the potted quail. Would you try a little potted quail, Jay?
I don't know. Maybe this is just a 27-hour fast talking, but yeah, sure.
Diamondback terrapin. Is that turtle?
Sounds like it. See, we got to go through the. You remember you gave me that
Devil
menu?
in the White City.
That menu, yeah.
Hold on.
I started going through that, but we got to remember to do that, because I actually started to pull apart what all of those things were. Yeah.
Dude, look at this. Look, Diamondback terrapins. I mean, are they? Oh, they look like they get a little bit bigger than that.
Yeah.
So they're talking about cooked turtle.
I think on that menu for the World's Fair was turtle soup, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, the World's Fair menu for the architects and engineers was incredible.
I'm going to dissect that for you. I will. I started doing it because you sent it to me over the summer.
I know Lindsay Sharman will be very happy that you do that too.
Yeah.
Because I loved how not only was the the courses of food so rich and so big, but that the several courses of food were interrupted by, specifically, at this time we have cigarettes,
palate cleansers,
then more food, you have sorbet, things like that, and then at this time we have brandy and cigars.
Yeah.
So I love how cigarettes and cigars have their very specific place in the night.